Good morning.
Morning.
Mark, Manisha, Romain, welcome to the AWS studio. I'm Ruben Merz, Principal Solutions Architect at AWS, and today we're going to talk about AWS, transformation. Mark, please.
Yes, so I'm Mark Dusener. I'm the CTO of Swisscom.
So I'm Manisha. I'm the product owner at SRE in Swisscom, and I'm particularly interested in really driving innovation and efficiency, and therefore very passionate about generative AI.
What is SRE?
So at Swisscom, we practice Swisscom reliability engineering, which you can map to definitely different aspects. So you have network, you have software, you have system, and that's exactly what we do here to focus on the reliability and the stability of our existing systems.
I'm Romain. I'm leading our transformation efforts to change the way we operate our services. SRE is one part of it, but there are many other aspects. So trying really to rethink how we fundamentally operate on the daily basis our services. Taking inspiration from as many good initiatives, as many good technology. GenAI is one of them. So taking all that and leading us forward.
All right, thank you. So, Mark, you've been here last year. We had a fantastic conversation on transformation and especially networks and infrastructure. Now, I realized this morning that when we started working together, Swisscom and AWS, generative AI was not on the radar, and suddenly it popped up, and it's definitely changing a lot. What is your view on data and AI and on that technology? How has it changed Swisscom, and how do you see it shaping the company for the future?
I think it did change a lot, right? And it is continuing to change. It just started, I would even say. One example is when we started the journey with you, one of our goals was to create our what we called one data platform in the cloud, obviously. And that was a technology decision. It was a technology project. With Gen AI creating impact, all of a sudden business is asking, why are you not faster? Mm-hmm. Another way is the perspective on speed, on innovation. Gen AI has showed us how fast innovation is happening. I mean, the large language models are improving themselves by a factor of 4 every half a year. And therefore, it's being innovative, and as Swisscom we strive for that, means to be adaptable at a much higher speed than in the past. And that is due to how can I learn faster, how can I build an architecture that can adapt faster, and how can we organize ourselves better. And the last one is, maybe even reflecting on the first one, is getting us even closer together. So we already did work quite well jointly between our organizations, so technology and for example, B2C. But with Gen AI, we need to scale. Having a team in technology doing AI was not about scale. Having a team in technology, having a team in B2C, this is scale. So the way of working is changing because of that.
Yeah, I find it very interesting how when technology changes and you need to adapt, this really brings people closer, and this really tests relationship, and this is where you see, this is how you build high-performing teams. Speaking of high-performing teams, that's very good. Manisha, Romain, both of you have decided to jump heads-on into technology and into AI and generative AI and how it's changing what you do. Mm-hmm. Manisha, I'm going to start with you. Can you tell us about your projects? Yep. What you're driving?
So I think the first important factor here, we are in a transformation phase, exactly as Mark mentioned. We are trying to innovate, we are trying to adapt ourselves to the ever-evolving technology, and the best thing that you can get out of this transformation phase are really some concrete, tangible results, which enables engineers to see or realize the potential of generative AI in the world of telecommunication. And this is what exactly we are headed towards. So we have an initiative which is called the SRE Copilot quite obvious because I come from the SRE world. So what this assistant is about to do is going to speed up our transformation journey from transforming from a telco to a techco, which means that this would enable engineers in their own SRE transformation journey, because now in Swisscom we have a lot of SRE know-how in the form of documentation, in the form of really extensive skill-up trainings, and we can use all that to feed that LLM so that it is now responding in a tailored way to every engineer to enable themselves to know how would I build my own application, which platform do I use. So consolidating and standardizing practices, coming to tooling, coming to coding as well, because we have a lot of teams at Swisscom which handles problems, the same problem in different manner. And we want to standardize all that practices. We want to bring things together. And we can do that by reusing, sharing the code inventories, not by reinventing the wheel from scratch. And the SRE assistant or the Copilot is exactly aiming to do that. Interesting aspect of the SRE Copilot, why we started with it, is also on a psychological aspect, because you mentioned people and culture, which is the most important aspect here. And here we wanted to speed up the transformation journey, and we felt that people are so comfortable in talking about their own transformation goals and how they want to get where with an LLM rather than a human being. So why not use that power and try to speed up the transformation? So that's one of the initiatives. The second one, which I would talk about, I'm very happy that I got to interact with a couple of more telco operators here at MWC, and we are all more or less headed in the same direction. So I'm looking forward to having synergies there. So we are developing a RAN network assistant, which will be able to understand the network health in terms of the radio network. So the idea now is to really prototype a solution. So we have already prototyped a solution. It's small. We want to iterate over it. At the moment, it is enabling engineers to get a holistic view of their network health by getting data from multiple data sources, doing the correlation between the KPI metrics. So in the end, we are simplifying the lives of engineers who don't need to now open 5 different tools to form a correlation and ask, okay, how is my network in, I don't know, someplace in Switzerland performing? So it can be done through the LLM. As a next step, we want to take it forward. We want to transform the reactive nature of the LLM to becoming more proactive and understanding what it outputs to the engineer, what is the network health looking like, so I can suggest measures to the engineer already beforehand. So I think these are the 2 main projects which I've been working on.
I mean, you came up with something new. You came up with the aspect of personalization, of a shared knowledge. I find it, I mean, this is something we talk in marketing topics, but not in that. That's super cool. So I look forward, all of us working on getting that project to production. Romain, next to you. Tell us about what you're driving.
So we have started a quite large project on using GenAI to change the way we operate our services, as I was saying before. So think about ITSM kind of concept, change management, incident management. That's kind of the scope. So ITSM, it's more than those 2, obviously. And we are really now checking all, and we have started to build use case on how to transform based on that. And it's bringing a lot of new opportunities. At first, we were last year more focusing on RAG approach, simply chatbot, conversing with the documents, bringing values directly to the people. And as the time is going, what's kind of amazing is, back to what Mark was saying, how fast the technology evolve. Now we are speaking about agentic concept. I don't know yet tomorrow or what we will discuss about, but the speed of innovation is really crazy, and it makes it super interesting. So now we are really focusing on agentic approach. So having not only the GenAI answering questions, but really performing actions in behalf of our engineers. The goal being, our engineers should spend far less time working on the processes, documenting what they do, analyzing risk, mitigating or thinking about possible mitigation measures. They should really have as much time as possible to bring new features, to bring new values to our customers. And everything that we can then offload to GenAI along the operation chain is basically a huge win. First, because of the time, but also because of the increased quality that we get. We are quite good with those processes, but it's quite difficult for the team to every day redo the same kind of manual work to fulfill quite many compliance aspects we may have, assurance aspects we may have, and GenAI here I believe would radically change the way we approach those things. It will be done for us, for our engineers, in an extremely high quality way. Maybe long term we will even, I don't know, not need anymore to access so many tools as we have today. You could probably interact with the rest of the company a lot more over GenAI, agentic systems. So it may abstract quite a lot of the work for our engineers. So the focus here is really changing the way the engineers operate so that they have more time for added value tasks.
That is these are quite massive changes.
Yep.
How do you bring people along this? What has been your strategy over the recent, because we started talking about these things maybe 18 months ago. How have you driven people? What have you learned over the time to really get people to work on this technology? Manisha, would you like to
Sure.
share?
So I think, as I mentioned, there are a few learnings that we can take out of this journey now. And one major thing is that not to really run behind the let's say the highest compute that is available to you or the biggest models that you can, but it's more important to really understand what my people in my organization need, what would benefit them. So how can I really integrate AI workflows into the legacy system, into the existing work scenarios, and how would it really make them as in mean people in my organization produce more impact, do what they do today, but with greater efficiency. So I think that's what we have been doing back at Swisscom. So it's not really about which models we use, but it's more rather understanding people, their needs, also understanding our systems. Are our systems really ready for data? Does that have that data readiness to have the generative AI solutions or not? And then really driving this together with people, co-sharing, collaborating, and taking these kind of initiatives to greater heights, exactly with strategic partners like AWS.
All right, thank you. Romain?
Manisha already mentioned a lot of super important aspects. What I can maybe add is the question you ask is extremely valid. So people and culture are key in those transformation projects. The first things I would like to state is that's key, but the technology is also important. And working with a solid technology partner helps a lot because you can stop thinking a bit about the tech stack and how well it works and really focus on those transformation aspects. So that's a prerequisite you just need. You need to approach, for me, the people and culture aspect from different angles. You obviously need a strong leadership support to that transformation. We obviously have that with Mark, that's key. But this is also true along the whole chain of leaders that we have, that we need everyone be able to see the potential and embrace that transformation. You also need a more bottom-up approach. You need some engineers in every team that have time to investigate, try, fail, try again, succeed. So you need to bring both those directions at the same times. And what we do to support that is also to create trainings material. We create events. We have different communities where people meet, exchange, discuss together. So this discussion across, let's say, the horizontal teams that we have, the horizontal levels, different teams from different units that we have, but also the discussion between engineers, leader, you need all those discussions to happen. And what we have to offer is a platform for those discussions to happen. And create, through those discussions, the motivation, create a common vision on those aspects.
Mark, I want to ask this. So what's your secret sauce on, because at the end of the day, you have to be efficient. You have to deliver features, products, make the network run. But what I also hear is that you need to create an environment that provides people for these places where they feel safe and they can go and experiment. So I mean, how do you do this? Because I don't think it's self-evident.
We have a great company culture that allows and enables that in the first place, and that's been like that for decades now. But secondly, new technologies or change, you can't convince people. The only thing you can do is get them passionate, inspire them. Mm-hmm. And that is a team effort. So it's not me inspiring. That would not work, right? I mean, the team is inspired by their teammates, by people using it and saying, it's great. You need to try. I have something for you. And then once this starts to grow, then at a certain point in time, you can build a structure around that and make it a force. But in the beginning is always inspiration and passion.
Okay.
And that's what I love about our company. It's really passionate. We are passionate about technology. We're passionate about our customers. And this is driving the teams.
All right. And how do you recognize that moment where you see that for maybe a specific topic, you come to that point where you have this sort of like critical mass and you can really like, do you have to do something or can you just nudge it into the right direction?
The risk, or let's say the challenge at some point is, and GenAI is a very good example, everyone got passionate. I mean, we love technology, we love to be at the forefront. All of a sudden, we had hundreds of projects running, which is not efficient, duplicating things, and risky, because, I mean, you're dealing with data. And so at a certain point, we understood, okay, we've got enough passion, we've got enough inspiration. That's not the challenge anymore. Now we need to structure it to make it a force. And this is what we did the last half year. So created an AI strategy, a data strategy, a data and AI target operating model. How do we want to work to make that, to channel that passion, channel that force for the greater good?
Can you share with us how we've been helping you? I mean, we provide services, we provide people, we work closely with your team, but can you highlight on these options, what have been the things that have been truly helping you to move forwards with those projects?
There are quite many aspects. So obviously, you know your services super well, and you know how to build or to use them in those kind of concepts extremely well. But something that really helped me a lot in the last 6 months is all the other aspects that you bring, what others are doing, which kind of alternative technology are there, because you do bring this overview of not only what you are as a service, but also what's happening in the whole ecosystem worldwide. And this is helping me a lot to think about the options that we have, what is the best way to serve the purposes that we want to achieve. And that's, for me, amazing. Not only the part that you deliver in your services, but the knowledge you bring on the whole GenAI ecosystem. This has helped me a lot lately.
Okay, I guess that's a testament to the people working with us.
Yeah, I think I agree with Romain here completely, and I would just like to add probably a few points here. So, you know the services pretty well, you're the experts here, so that's given. But what I value the most is that you guys are there from the very start phase of brainstorming the solutions and how it applies to Swisscom context. I think that also makes a lot of difference. That's a game changer, because yes, there are a lot of generic stuff, but not everything would produce value for Swisscom, would not be driven or would not drive business for Swisscom. And I think to tailor that generic stuff, how we can tailor it to Swisscom needs, I think that's been really amazing. And then, of course, discussing with you till the point of which types of feature capabilities do we need on AWS right now, which kind of solutions we are building, what would be beneficial to us. I think that's been an amazing support with you guys. I'm looking forward to continue it.
Okay, thank you. I mean, we're a strong believer that doing this transformation, this is about technology and that's about people. And I think your statements here are really a very, very bright testament to that. As we're closing, Mark, any last word? Something you want to share with the others out there that are in those transformations, starting the transformation? Maybe you have to start from scratch tomorrow. Where would you get started or do different?
I think I never look back and say, what would I do different? Because yes, you need to learn in that context, but I think the key theme of GenAI, coming alive, is the incredible speed that all of a sudden happened. If you think, okay, that's overwhelming, you can't, then look at what people do. How many people are all of a sudden becoming experts in a very short time? And I mean, becoming an expert in the past in whatever domain took years to master that. And now becoming an expert in at least applying GenAI is much faster in itself. And then the other part, and that is and was inspiring for me, for example, in working together with you, is you can do that in any organization. Sometimes we think only small organizations can be fast. But when OpenAI launched, you were taken by surprise, as anyone else, right? You didn't have your lineup to counter that. A year later, we went to reInvent, and it was a firework of Gen AI. And seeing a huge organization like yours moving that fast was an inspiration to say, okay, we can do that as well. We have to, and that's the passion part, we want to. And I guess, so if you're afraid of moving, just do. It's fun. It really is. And you will find a lot of people dragging along, like we do.
We're super excited that we can share that transformation and this and this technology journey with you. I'm super looking forward to the next 12 months, everything we're going to achieve, and I'm super looking forward that we'll be here 1 year from now, talking about what we've learned and what we've produced. We're here live in Barcelona. I'm Ruben from AWS, and see you next year.